heard that people have been hit with tear gas, with rubber bullets. What have you experienced?
Well, exactly that. I was just tear gas this evening before I got home. And last evening, we were confronted actually with LAPD, which is Los Angeles Police Department, after they were called because ICE felt they were being intimidated, even though we were peacefully just protesting that we wanted our citizens to stop being terrorized by them. So, it's pretty alarming. It's scary, but I think we're all out there because we feel that ICE is coming into our communities and purposefully trying to scare us. They're coming in with military type gear, with tanks into working class communities and specifically targeting predominantly Hispanic areas like Los Angeles, the warehouse district and the flower market and the fashion district area. And those are people just working, they're
Yeah.
just trying to work and make a living.
Was there a particular case or an incident that galvanized your involvement in this movement?
I think one of the things and the story that's happening, that's unfolding is, individuals are trying to follow what, the protocols and the process, and going in for their usual checks with immigration and checking in. And there was one woman who's 20 years old. She was doing her check-in with immigration. Her next court hearing was going to be for her to see if she was going to get asylum, and then they detained her. And so people are trying to do it the right way, even though the system is difficult to navigate. It's very hard. It's a long, arduous process, but they're still trying, and then they're still being punished for it. There's been tents in the federal building being put outside because there's so many individuals that are cramming into these cells. People have been without water for 12 to 24 hours. And, we're just not going to stand for that.
We know tonight, well, in the last few hours, 2,000 National Guard troops were ordered by the US president to disperse you and other protesters. How will you and others respond when they do arrive? Are you going to be protesting again tomorrow?
Absolutely. And I think, the more they try to spark fears, the more we're adamant that this is our community, this is where we live, these are our children, our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers. And we are going to make sure they know that we are speaking out for them and we're having a voice for them. And we're not going to let them terrorize our community.
The LAPD says the protests in LA City are peaceful, but elsewhere earlier on Saturday we saw a car set on fire. Just explain the overall goal of these protests.
Yeah. The protests I have been at have been peaceful. We've had cardboard signs. I think in any situation, you're going to have individuals who are going to act in um, impulsive ways. And so we can't control everybody, but our goal is for it to be peaceful, for them to hear that we're not accepting federal ICE agents coming into our communities, purposefully presenting themselves in a scary, very military way. That's not how this should be done. If the goal is to protect communities against, crime, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I can't speak to individuals that there was a car set on fire. I don't know that situation, but where I was at, it was peaceful. At the end of the night, there were 6 of us. I was actually on the sidewalk, and police were still had their batons drawn on us, still had their gas, grenades or whatever they call them pointed at us. So, I just think they're creating the escalation, not us.
ESTRELLAZUL, CORRAL, we appreciate your time and sharing your perspective with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for letting me speak.